Yeah, went for went for part two of Yoko Ono's birthday celebration. Let's go to some artwork. Let's go to the artwork. Cut piece 1964. What did Yoko Ono said? Art is like breathing on. What is it? Art is like breathing for me. If I don't do it, I start to choke. Ono was a pioneer of the conceptual art and performance art. A seminal performance work is Cut Piece. The first performed in 1964 at the Yamaichi uh, Concert Hall in Kyoto, Japan. The piece consisted of Ono dressed in her best suit, kneeling on the stage with a pair of scissors in front of her. She invited and then instructed audience members to join her on stage and cut pieces of her clothing off, confronting issues of gender. Yeah, that's what she's doing. Confronting the issues of gender, class, and cultural identity. Ono sat silently sat until the piece concluded at her discretion. Why are you saying discretion? The piece was subsequently performed at the Sogetsu Art Center in Tokyo. That same year, Carnegie Hall, is in New York. Back in 1965, in London's Africa Center, as part of the Destruction Art Symposium in 1966. In 1966, yeah, that's what it is. In 1966, of the piece, John Hendricks wrote in the catalog to Ono's Japan Society retrospective cut piece unveils the interpersonal alienation of that the characters. Oh, what's it? What's cut piece though? I know it was. It unveils the interpersonal alienation that characterizes social relationships. I gotta find what I can't hear myself talk again. Unveils the interpersonal alienation that characterizes social relationships social relationships between subjects, dismantling the disinterested Kenshin aesthetic model aesthetic model. It demonstrates the reciprocity was it the reciprocity between artists, objects, and viewers, and the responsibility beholders have to the reception and preservation of art. Other performers of the piece have included Charlotte Moorman and John Hendricks. Ono reprised the piece in Paris in 2003. In 2003, in the low post 9/11 period between the US and France, saying that she hoped saying that she hoped to show that this is a time where we need to trust each other. In 2013, the Canadian singer Peaches reprised it. She have Peaches have reprised it, man, at the multi-day meltdown festival at the yes in London. It's in London's South Bank Center. That's what it is at London's South Bank Center, which have Ono had curated in the same year. Grapefruit. It's the same year Grapefruit. Ono's book, the small book, is entitled by that name, Grapefruit. Is another seminal piece of conceptual art first published in 1964. The book reads a set of instructions through which of work of art is completed either literally or in the imagination of the viewer participant. One example is hide and seek piece. Hide and seek piece. Okay. Hide until everybody goes home. Hide until everybody forgets about you. Hide until everybody dies. Grapefruit has been published several times, most widely distributed by Simon and Schuster in the 1970s, who reprinted it again in 2000. David Borden, the art critic for the Village Voice in Vogue, called Grapefruit one of the monuments of the conceptual art of the early 1960s. He noted that her conceptual approach was made more acceptable when the white male artists like Joseph Kassouf and Lawrence Weiner came in and did virtually the same things she did, and that her take also has a poetic and lyrical side that sets it apart. Oh, what's it say? That sets it apart from the work of the conceptual artists. Ono would enact many of the book's scenarios as performance pieces throughout her career, which formed the basis of her art exhibitions, including the highly publicized retrospective exhibition This Is Not Here in 1971 at the Emerson Museum in Syracuse, New York. That was nearly closed. It was nearly closed when it was besieged by excited Beatles fans who broke several of the art pieces and flooded the toilets. It was her last major exhibition until 1989's Yoko Ono Objects Films Retrospective to Whitney. Nearly 50 years later, in July of 2013, she released a sequel to Grapefruit, another book of instructions. Acorn via OR Books. Experimental films from the 1960s to the 1970s. One also was an experimental filmmaker who made 16 short films between 1964 and 1972, gaining particular renown for a 1966 Fluxus film called simply Number 4, often referred to as Bottoms. The 5.5-minute film consists of a series of close ups of human buttocks walking on a treadmill. The screen is divided into four almost equal sections of the was it oh yeah equal sections by the elements of the gluteal cleft and the horizontal gluteal crease. The soundtrack consists of interviews with those who are being filmed, as well as those considering joining the project. In 1996, the watch manufacturing company, as the name Swatch, Swatch was like a company that's been out since the was it that company's honestly that company. See that company's been out since what the 80s, the 70s, 80s. That company's been out since what the 80s. It kind of produced a limited edition watch that had commemorated this film, which I did not know of. In March of 2004, the ICA London showed most of her films from this period in their exhibition, The Rare Films of Yoko Ono. She also acted in an obscure exploitation in a 1965 uh, Satan's Bed film. An obscure 1965 Satan's Bed exploitation film. Wait till you go to 1996 with Wish Tree. Wish Tree. Another example of Ono's participatory art was her Wish Tree project. That's what called her Wish Tree Project. In a which a tree native to the installation site is installed. Her 1996 Wish piece had the following instructions. The following instructions called you gotta make a wish. You got to write it down on a piece of paper. You got to fold it and tie it around a branch of a wish tree. You got to ask your friends to do the same. Keep wishing until the branches are covered with wishes. Her wish tree, her wish tree installation in the sculpture garden of the Museum of Modern Art in New York, established in July of 2010, has attracted contributions from all over the world. All the world, other installation locations include London, St. Louis, Washington, San Francisco, Copenhagen. Well, you got all these locations. You got London, England, St. Louis, Missouri. You got Washington D.C., San Francisco, California. You have Copenhagen. You have the Stanford University campus in Palo Alto, California. You got Japan. You got Venice. You got Dublin, Ireland. You got Venice. What's it? Venice. You got Dublin. You got Dublin, Ireland, and then you have Miami, Florida. It was at the Fairchild Tropical. Yeah, yeah, at the Fairchild Botanical Garden in 2010. In 2014, Ono's what was it? Let's see. In 2014, let me push it away. Ono's in 2014, Ono's Imagine Peace exhibit opened at the Bob Rauschenberg Gallery at Florida Southwestern State College in Fort Myers, Florida. Ono installed a billboard on U.S. Road 41 in Fort Myers to promote the show and peace. When the exhibit closed, wishes that had been placed on the installed wish trees were sent to the Imagine Peace Tower in Iceland and added to the millions of wishes already there. Imagine Peace was also installed in Houston in 2011 through the Deborah Colton Gallery, returning in 2016. The Earth Piece and Skylighter. That's those two. One of the two pieces Ono installed as the part of the 2014 Folkstone Triennial. Yeah, the Folkstone Triennial. Earth Piece originally consisted of many parts and appeared in many locations in media around Folkstone. That's what it is. Folkestone. Folkstone, including posters, stickers, billboards, and badges. Three of the pieces remain in Folkstone on loan to the town and part of the Creative Folkstone Artworks collection. These include an inscribed stone, a flag, which is flown on an annual basis on International Peace Day, and a beacon of light installed on the dome roof of the Grand in oh yeah, Folkestone Lias. On those beacon flashes a Morse code message, Earth Peace, across the English Channel. The second of Ono's Folkestone Triennial, and now also on loan to the towns as the part of the Folkestone Artworks collection. Skylighter. Skylighter is displayed in two locations on a high wall of the Quarterhouse Bar and in the staircase of the Folkestone Public Library. Skylighter, Skylighter takes the form of an artistic instruction. Yeah, artistic instruction. Yeah, that's what it is. Or invitation to the people of Folkestone. And beyond the instruction reads, audience should bring a ladder. They like color. They like color it. word it, take pictures of it, take pictures of it, and keep adding things to it, and send it as a postcard to a friend. These are the two right here. This one right here, Arising, from 2015. Ono created the piece Arising in Venice as part of the exhibition Personal Structures, Personal Structures organized by Global Art Affairs, the GAA. The installation, the installation was on view from June 1st through November 24th of 2013. Yeah, June and November of 2013. That's what they're doing at. That was at the European Cultural Center's Palazzo Bembo. And this feminist work of art, female silicon bodies, were burnt in the Venetian lagoon. That's the word, in the Venetian lagoon, uh, evoking the imagery of mythical phoenixes. When asked for the resemblance between the naming of her record rising in this piece, Ono had responded, "Rising was telling all people that it is time for us to rise and fight for our rights. But in the process of fighting together, women are still being treated separately in an inhuman way. It weakens the power of men and women all together. I hope a rising will wake up women power and make us men and women heal together." We're gonna go to Sky Landing in 2016. In October of that year, Ono unveiled her first permanent art installation in the U.S. The collection is located in Jackson Park, Chicago. It's in Illinois. It's not no. I don't know if it was in Illinois. Yeah, it was in Illinois. Yeah, and I got it right. And promotes peace. Ono was inspired by during Ono was inspired during a visit to the gardens, a visit to the garden and of the Phoenix. What did Ono do? What did Yoko Ono would do? She was inspired by not inspired. She was inspired during a visit to the Garden of the Phoenix in 2013. 2013, she was visited. She was inspired by that, by a visit. The Garden of Phoenix. Oh man, she was inspired by it now, anyways. And she feels that there was a connection to the city of Chicago in the state of Illinois. In 2019, the refugee boat participating participating in Lower Manhattan's River to River Festival in 2019. Ono presented her what did Ono had did? She presented her participatory installation Add Color Refugee Boat from 1960 to 2019. The work comprises a white room with a white rowing boat in it, which were both covered by messages and drawings from members of the audience throughout the festival. Through the participatory nature of the work, the artist emphasized the need for solidarity in the history of immigrants and refugees in the US. Refugee Boat belongs to Ono's Add Color painting series, first enacted in 1960, which invites the audience, that's what sends them there, which invites the audience to make marks over the designated objects, often white. On to recognition and respectives. On to recognition and retrospectives, not respectives, the recognition and the retrospectives here. John Lennon once described his wife as the world's most famous unknown artist. Everybody knows her name, but nobody knows what she does. Her circle of friends in the New York art world, including has included Kate Millett, Namjoon Paik, Dan Richter, Jonas Mekas, Merce Cunningham, Judith Molina, Erica Abil, Freddie Assis, Peggy Guggenheim. Yeah, that's her name. Peggy Guggenheim, Betty Rolland, Shusaku Awakawa, Adrian Morris, Stefan Wolpe, Keith Haring, and Andy Warhol. Well, she was one of the speakers at Warhol's 1987 funeral, in when Andy Warhol had died. R.I.P. R.I.P. Andy Warhol. Sucks. I gotta go see through. I gotta go deal with Andy Warhol shit. Fuck. I don't want to go put myself through that shit. Sorry. I don't want to do a birthday based on Andy Warhol. I'm sorry. I don't want to do that. As well as George Maciunas and Lamonti Young, and in the addition of Mikas, Maciunas, Young, and Warhol. That's the name. There's the names there. She has also collaborated with Diasis, Ivan Rainer, Zbigniew Rewczynski. In 1989, the Whitney Museum held a retrospective of her work, Yoko Ono Objects, Films, marking Ono's re-entry into the New York art world after a hiatus. After a suggestion of Ono's living companion at the time is Sam Habatoy, the interior decorator. She recast her old pieces in bronze after some initial reluctance. Initial reluctance. I realized that for something to move me so much that I would cry, there's something there. There seemed like a shimmering air in the '60s when I made these pieces, and now the air is bronzified. It's bronzified. Now it's the '80s, and bronze is very '80s in a way, solidity, commodity, all of that for someone who went through the '60s revolution. There has, of course, been an incredible change. Yeah, incredible change. That's what she had found. I call the pieces petrified bronze. That freedom, all the hope and wishes are some ways petrified. Over over a decade later, in 2001, YES Yoko Ono, a 40-year retrospective of Ono's work, received the International Association of Art Critics USA Award for Best Museum Show originating in New York City. In New York City, considered one of the highest accolades in the museum. Profession, yes. Profession, yes, refers to the title of a 1966 uh, sculptural work by Yoko Ono shown at the Indica Gallery in London. Viewers are climbing a ladder to read the word yes printed on a small canvas suspended from the ceiling. The exhibition curator, Alexandra Munro, wrote that John Lennon got it on his first meeting with Yoko when he climbed the ladder to peer at the frame paper on the ceiling. He encountered the tiny word yes. The tiny word yes. So it was positive. I felt relieved. The exhibition traveled to 13 museums in the US, Canada, Japan, and Korea from 2000 to 2003. In 2001, she received an honorary doctorate of laws from Liverpool University in 2002. And in 2002, she was presented with the honorary degree of Doctor of Fine Arts from Bard College, and the show and the Skowhegan Medal. That's the word, the Skowhegan Medal for work in assorted media. The next year, she was awarded the fifth MOCA award to distinguished women in the arts from the Museum of Contemporary Arts, Los Angeles. In 2005, she received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Japan Society of New York, which had hosted yes Yoko Ono, and where she had worked in the late 50s and the early 1960s. In 2008, she showed a large retrospective exhibition, Between the Sky and My Head, at the Kunsthal uh, Bielefeld. Bielefeld. Yeah, that's what it's the Kunsthalle, uh, what's it? Kunsthal Bielefeld in Bielefeld, Germany, and the Baltic Center for Contemporary Art in Gateshead, England. The following year, she showed a selection of new and old work as part of her show Anton's Memory in Venice, Italy. Uh, she also received a Golden Lion Award for the Lifetime Achievement for the Venice Biennale in 2009 and 2012. And in 2012, Ono held a major exhibition of her work to the light at the Serpentine Galleries that was in London. That was in London. She was also the winner of the 2012 Oscar Kokashka Prize, Austria's highest award. The highest award in Austria had that was for the applied contemporary art. That's what she was getting it in early 2013, which I had to read again to coincide with her 80th birthday. The largest retrospective of her work, half a wine show. Was it half a wind show? It opened at the Schön Kunsthalle Frankfurt. The Schön Kunsthalle Frankfurt, and traveled to Denmark's Louisiana Museum of Modern Art, Austria's Kunsthalle, Austria's Kunsthalle, uh, Austria's Kunsthalle Krems, and Spain's Guggenheim Museum Bilbao. In 2014, she contributed several artworks to the Triennial Folkestone Art Festival in 2015. The Museum of Modern Day Art in New York City held a retrospective exhibition of her early work, Yoko Ono One Woman Show, 1960 to 1971. And then last year, Kunsthaus, Kunsthaus Zurich opened a retrospective Yoko Ono. This room moves at the same speed as the clouds. Oh, now I'm getting dizzy. There's political activism, social media, and public appreciation. I gotta read this too. Ono has been an activist for peace and human rights since the 60s. After she and Lenin married in Gibraltar, they held a March 1969 bedding for peace in their honeymoon suite at the Amsterdam Hilton Hotel. The newlyweds were eager to talk about and promote world peace. They wore pajamas and invited visitors and members of the press. For 2 months later, Ono and Lennon held another bed-in at the Queen Elizabeth Fairmont in Montreal, where they recorded their first single, "Give Peace a Chance." The song, it became a top 20 hit for a newly christened plastic Ono band. Other performance demonstrations with John, including Bagism. It's that same word again. Bagism. The iterations with the John of the bag pieces she introduced in the early 1960s, which encouraged a disregard for physical appearance in judging others. That's what bad things will happen. In December of 1969, the two continued to spread their message of peace with billboards in number 12 in like not number 12 in 12 major world cities, reading war is over if you want it. Happy Christmas from John and Yoko. In the 70s, Ono and Lennon Ono and Lennon became close to many radical countercultural readers, including Bobby Seale. This is the guy who started the Panthers, you know, with the late Huey Newton, Abby Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, Michael X, John Sinclair, included, whose rally in Michigan they flew in to sing Lennon's song Free John Sinclair. That's what it says. Free John Sinclair. That effectively released the poem, not a poem, a poet from the walls of prison. Angela Davis and street musician David Peel. Friend and sexual politics author Catherine Millett, who they call her Kate, Kate Millett, has said Ono inspired her activism. Ono and Lennon appeared on the Mike Douglas show, taking over hosting duties. For a week, Ono spoke at the length about the evils of racism and sexism. Yeah, racism and sexism. She remained outspoken in her support of feminism. Okay, his word. Feminism. And openly bitter about the racism she had experienced from the rock fans, especially in the UK. Was her reception within the US media was not much better. For an example, the an Esquire article of the period was titled John Rennan's Exclusive Galopi. Why are you naming it John Rennan's Exclusive Galopi? That's the stupidest name I never heard of. What does it says? John Rennan's Exclusive Galopi. And it's featured an unflattering David Levine cartoon. The David Levine cartoon. Or David, I forgot. David Levine cartoon. I did not know that. David Levine. That's his name. An unflattering David Levine cartoon. I did not even know that. After the Columbine High School massacre in 1999, Ono paid for billboards to be put up in New York City and Los Angeles that bore the image of Lennon's blood splashed spectacles. And early in 2002, she paid about, what is it, 150,000 in quid or pounds for a billboard in Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus. What a line from Lennon's Imagine. Imagine all the people living life in peace. That's later the same year she inaugurated a peace award. Oh God. She inaugurated a peace award, the Lennon Ono Grant for Peace, by giving $50,000 in prize money. Yep, in prize money. Originally to artists living the religions of conflict. The award is given out every 2 years in conjunction of what's it? The award is given out every 2 years in conjunction with the lighting of the Imagine Tower. Yeah, I know it's gonna suck very well. And was first given to Israeli and Palestinian artists. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, that's what it was. And it was given first to the Israeli and Palestinian artists. Its program has since expanded to include the writers such as Michael Pollan uh, and Alice Walker. That's him. That's I forgot. That's Alice Walker. She was in The Color Purple. I think she was a novelist. Activists such as Vandana, what's it? Vandana Shiva and Pussy Riot. Organizations such as New York's Center, as such as was it New York's Center for Constitutional Rights, even an entire country in Iceland, yeah. Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day in 2003, which was the eve of the Iraqi invasion by the U.S. and UK. Ono heard about a couple, had be the Gales, Andrew and Christine Gale, who were holding a love-in protest in their tiny bedroom in Addingham, West Yorkshire. Yeah, Addingham, West Yorkshire. That's what it says. Addingham, West Yorkshire. Yeah, that's where. Yeah, Ed Sheeran is from Yorkshire. Uh, Ono had phoned them in. Ono had phoned them in and said, "It's good to speak to you. We're supporting you. We're all sisters together." The couple said that songs like "Give Peace a Chance" and "Imagine" inspired their protest in 2004. Ono remade her song "Every Man, Every Woman" to support same-sex marriage, releasing remixes that include "Every Man Has a Man Who Loves Him" and "Every Woman Has a Woman Who Loves Her." In August 2011, she made a documentary film about the bed-ins bed piece, available free on YouTube, for free on YouTube. And as part of her website Imagine Peace, in January of 2013, the 79-year-old Ono, along with Sean Lennon, her son, Susan Sarandon, let's see, go there. Susan Sarandon took to rural Pennsylvania. Yeah, took straight to Pennsylvania, rural Pennsylvania, in a bus under the banner of the Artists Against Fracking group, Fracking, fracking. Uh, yeah, the AAF, and she and Sean created with actor Mark Ruffalo in August of 2012. Yeah, in August of 2012 to protest against hydraulic fracturing. Other group members include Lady Gaga and this motherfucker, this motherfucker who killed his bitch, Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin. That old fart faced bastard should have been in jail for killing that bitch on that setup of that movie Rust. He should be in jail. Ono promotes Ono promotes her art and shares inspirational messages and images through a robust and active Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook presence. In April 2014, her Twitter followers, you know, it's all through Twitter and Instagram and Facebook presence. That's where you all get it from. But in April of 2014, as her Twitter followers, the people who follow her on Twitter have reached 4.69 million, while her Instagram followers have exceeded about 99,000. Her tweets are short, instructional. What is this? They're short instructional poems. Poems are like short instructions, like all the instructional stuff that she do. They're short. Those poems are so short, instructional. That's what I know of. It has the comments that was all about her, that was on the media, that was on and what politics, and the notes that was about performances until the late '80s. Until the late '80s, Ono traveled to Moscow, Russia, to participate in the international forum for a nuclear-free world and for the survival of mankind. She also visited Leningrad. Once she visited Leningrad, why the hell she visited Leningrad? Also, she have. That's where she met the members of the local John Lennon Memorial Club. Among these members was a Koya Vasin. Koya Vasin. Was it Koya Vasin? Who was considered the biggest Beatles fan in the Soviet Union. Public appreciation of Ono's work has shifted over time and was helped by a retrospective at a Whitney Museum branch in 1989 and the release of 1992's six-disc box set on Ono Box. Was it Ono Box? Yeah, Ono Box. It's a six-disc box set. Retrospectives of her artwork have also been presented at the Japan Society in New York City in 2001, in New York in 2001 as well. Yeah, it's been there. It's been in New York City. It's been New York City, the Japan Society. It's in Bielefeld. It's in there. It's I heard that word for Bielefeld, Germany. That's what words. Bielefeld, Germany, and in the UK in 2008, Frankfurt and Bilbao, Spain in 2013, the Museum of Modern Art in New York City in 2015. She received a Golden Lion Award for lifetime achievement from the Venice Biennale in 2009 and the 2012 Oscar Kokashka Prize, Austria's highest award for the applied contemporary art. In January 2021, Ono was one of the founders of the Coda Collection, a service that launched in the US via Amazon Prime Video channels on February 18th of that year. The day Ono turned 88, the Coda Collection will feature a slew of music, documentaries, and concert films. Uh, Jim Spinello will run the Coda channel. Yoko Ono added, John Lennon. John Lennon was always on the cutting edge of music and culture. The Coda Collection, the Coda Collection will be a new way for fans to connect on a deeper level. The public image there, for many years, Ono was frequently criticized by both the press and the public. She was blamed for the breakup of the Beatles and repeatedly criticized for her influence over Lennon and his music. Her experimental art was also not popularly popularly accepted. British press that was so particularly negative and prompted the couple's move to the US. As of late as December of 1999, NME was calling her a no-talent charlatan. Her relationship with the members of the Beatles. Lennon and Ono were injured in a car accident in in June of '69. In June of 1969, partway through the recording of Abbey Road, according to journalist Barry Miles, a, a bed with a microphone was then installed in the studio so that Ono could make artistic comments about the album. Miles thought Ono's continual presence in the studio during the latter of the Beatles' career put strain on Lennon's relationship with the other band members, George Harrison, who had passed away in 2001. It's George Harrison. He died in 2001. I don't know if I had to go. I don't know if I had to go through with those with these birthday celebrations, man. Just can't go through with it. Yes, George Harrison got into a shouting match with John Lennon after Ono took one of his chocolate digestive biscuits without asking him. The English press dubbed Ono the woman who broke up the band, the Beatles, which had been foreseen by Paul McCartney. In 1969, during the group's rehearsals, during the group's rehearsals for their film and album Let It Be, when he said it's going to be such an incredible sort of comical thing. Like in 50 years' time, you know they broke up because Yoko sat on an amp. In an interview with Dick Cavett, Lennon explicitly denied that Ono broke up the Beatles, and Harrison said during an interview with Cavett, uh, the problems within the group began long before Ono came to the scene. Right onto the scene. It's right before Ono came to the scene. Right onto the scene. Ono herself has said that the Beatles broke up without any direct involvement from her, adding, I don't think I could have tried even to break them up. While the Beatles were together, or McCartney was credited by as Lennon McCartney, regardless of whether the song was a collaboration written or written solely by one of the two, except those appearing on their first album, Please Please Me, which originally credited the songs to McCartney and Lennon. In 1976, McCartney released a live album called Wings Over America, which credited the five Beatles tracks as P. McCartney, J. Lennon compositions, the compositions that came from them. But neither Lennon nor Ono objected. After Lennon's death, however, McCartney again attempted to change the order to McCartney Lennon for songs that were solely or predominantly written by him, such as Yesterday. But Ono would not allow it, saying that she felt broke in agreement. She felt this she felt this broken agreement that the two had made with Lennon was still alive. Well, everybody else you know what who said that. They said that she felt this broken agreement that the two had made while Lennon was still alive. In the surviving Beatle argued that such an agreement never existed. A spokesman for Ono said McCartney was making an attempt to rewrite history. In a Rolling Stone interview in the late 80s, Ono pointed out McCartney's place yeah, in the disintegration of the band on the 1988 John Lennon anthology, Lennon Legend. The composer credit of "Give Peace a Chance" was changed to John Lennon from its original composing credit of Lennon McCartney. Although Lennon wrote the song during his tenure with the Beatles, it was both written and recorded without the help of the band and released as Lennon's first independent single under the Plastic Ono Band moniker. Lennon subsequently expressed the regret that he had not given co-writing credit to Ono instead, who actually helped him write the song. In 2002, McCartney released another live album back in the US live in 2002. That's another live album. And the 19 Beatles songs included or described as composed by Paul McCartney and John Lennon, the late John Lennon, which reignited the debate over the credits with Ono. Her spokesperson, Elliot Mintz, called it an attempt to rewrite history. Nevertheless, Ono did not sue. In 1995, after the Beatles released Lennon's Free as a Bird and Real Love, the demos were provided by Ono. McCartney and his family collaborated with her and Sean to create the song Hiroshima Sky is Always Blue, which commemorates the 50th anniversary of the atomic bombing of the Japanese city of Ono. McCartney stated that I thought she was a cold woman. I think that's wrong. She's just the opposite. I think she's just more determined than most people to be herself. 2 years later, however, Ono publicly compared Lennon to Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, while McCartney she said, more closely resembled his less talented rival Antonio Salieri. This remark infuriated Linda McCartney, Paul McCartney's wife. Let's see her face. Let me post the picture. Yep, I'm going there. Yep, Linda Louise McCartney. This remark infuriated Linda Louise McCartney, the wife of Paul McCartney, who was dying from breast cancer at the time. When Linda died, less than a year later, McCartney did not invite Ono to his wife's memorial service in Manhattan. Accepting an award at the 2005 Q Awards, Ono mentioned that Lennon had once felt insecure about his songwriting. She had responded, "You're a good songwriter. It's not June with Spoon that you write you're a good singer." And most musicians are probably a little bit nervous about covering your songs. In October 2010 interview, an October 2010 interview that Ono spoke about Lennon's Lost Weekend. In her subsequent reconciliation with him, she credited McCartney with helping save her marriage to John. I want the world to know that it was a very touching thing that Paul did for John. While visiting Ono in March of 1974, McCartney, on leaving, asking that, "What will make you come back to John?" McCartney subsequently passed her response to Lennon while visiting him in LA. John often said he didn't understand why Paul did this for us, but he did. But he did. In 2012, McCartney revealed that he did not blame Ono for the breakup of the Beatles and credited Ono with inspiring much of Lennon's post-Beatles work. Julian Lennon. Relationship with Julian Lennon. Ono had a difficult relationship with her stepson Julian, and that could be John Lennon's son. But the relationship improved over the years. He impressed the disappointment at her handling of Lennon's estate, and at the difference between his upbringing and Sean's, adding, when Dad gave up music for a couple of years to be with Sean, why couldn't he do that with me? Why couldn't he do that with me? Julian was left out of his father's will. Yeah, Julian was left out of John's will, and he battled Ono in court for years over this. They settled in 1996 for an unspecified amount that the media reported was uh, believed to be in the area of 20 quid or 20 million uh, pounds of quid, which Julian has denied. He has said that he is his mother's boy, which Ono has cited as the reason why she was never able to get close to him. To him, Julian and I tried to be friends, of course. If he's too friendly with me, then I think that it hurts his other relatives. He was very loyal. That's what she said. That's what Yoko said. He was very loyal to his mother. Yeah. Oh, it's Julia. That was Julia. He was very loyal to Julia, his mom. His mom. That was the first thing that was in his mind. Nevertheless, she and Sean attended the opening of Julian's photo exhibition at the Morrison Hotel in New York City in 2010, appearing for the first time for photos with Cynthia and Julian. She also promoted the exhibition the exhibition of her website, and Julian and Sean are close. They're both brothers. These guys are brothers. Art and popular culture. Mary Beth Edelson's Mary Beth Edelson's Some Living American Women Artists Last Supper, 1972, appropriated Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper. On Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, with the heads of a notable women artists collaged over the heads of Christ and his apostles. Ono was among notable women artists. This image, addressing the role of religious and art historical iconography in the subordination of women, became one of the most iconic images of the feminist art movement. The post-punk rock band Death of Samantha, founded in '83, named themselves after a song from Ono's 1972 album, approximately Infinite Universe, also called Death of Samantha. Bare Naked Ladies' debut single, Be My Yoko Ono, was released in 1990. And later appearing on their '92 album, Gordon. The lyrics are like a shy entreaty to a potential girlfriend, caged in terms that self-deflatingly compare himself to one of pop music's foremost geniuses. It also has a sarcastic imitation of Yoko Ono's unique vocal style in a bridge. In 2000, American folk singer Dar Williams, well, Bare Naked Ladies are like a Canadian rock band. So Dar Williams recorded a song titled I Won't Be Your Yoko Ono. Brian Wozniak, Brian Walzenek, Brian Walzenek, who was come from his website, The Ultimate Classic Rock, described the song as using John and Oko as a starting point for exploring love, and particularly love between artists. Elbow, the British band, mentioned Ono on this in their song New York Morning from their 2014 album Take Off, The Takeoff and Landing of Everything. Oh, my giddy aunt, New York can talk. It's the modern Rome. and folk are nice to Yoko. In response, Ono posted an open letter to the band on her website, thanking them, and that's what they're doing. They're thanking them, and they're saying thanks to him, and they're reflecting on her and Lennon's relationship with the city. In Public Enemy's song "Bring the Noise," Chuck D and Flavor Flav rap, "Beat is for Sonny Bono. The beat is for Yoko Ono." Ono's name also appears in the lyrics of Le Tiger and Hot Topic. In The Simpsons episode 1 of season 5, Homer's Barbershop Quartet. Barney, who was in Homer's band, has creative disputes within the group. When he falls in love with a Japanese conceptual artist that is visually made to resemble Yoko Ono. Those are Yoko's stuff right here. It's all Yoko's stuff right here. Films, her films, books, monographs, you know, TV appearances, all that stuff. All this other shit. That's done. What? This is it. If I had to go through do some goddamn birthday celebrations of Andy Warhol and George Harrison, so fucking be it. But I'll give them things to try. God, I'll give them things to try. Don't worry. Let me see if I can find them. Let's see. I'll choose this. Looks like I'm gonna go give these things a try then. August 6th. I'll deal with Andy Warhol's birthday. Andy Warhol's birthday. I'll do a live show based on him on August 6th. The other one, I'll focus on that. I'll focus on Andy Warhol's birthday. I'll focus on him on August 6th. Let's see. On the 25th, I'll focus on George Harrison on the 25th uh, of this month. I'll focus on that so I won't be boring, so I won't be forgetting all that crap about this guy. It's a shitty schedule that I gotta fucking go through. George Harrison's birthday is coming on February 25th of this year. February 25th. I'm gonna do a live show based on George Harrison. It's based on George Harrison. Uh, Monday I got Cindy Crawford's birthday coming up on the 20th. You know what I mean? I'll do that on I'll go do Cindy Crawford. Cindy Crawford. I'm gonna do her birthday on the 20th. Starting on Monday. And you know, see, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. It's about to be like seven. It's about to be like 7 p.m. You know, I almost. It's about to be like 7 p.m. Like I'm about to go upstairs and play um Far Cry Primal. It's cold in here, man. See you on the 20th for the birthday celebration of Cindy Crawford on February 20th. On it's gonna be live on it's gonna be live in the YouTube studio. See you on the 20th. And then probably next week I might have to go do something else with George Harrison's birthday. I don't even know. Yeah, on the 25th next week I'm gonna go to work on the George Harrison birthday celebration. I'm gonna do that next week. We'll do that next week, and, and then on the 27th I'm gonna focus on the 27th. I'm gonna be focusing on the likes of yeah, on the next week on the 25th I'm gonna do a live show based on George Harrison. And then on the 27th I'm gonna do a live show based on Rosanda Ocelian Thomas, also known as Chili. I got two birthday celebration shows coming up on the 25th and the 27th. But I got Monday on the helm, you know. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. See you on the 20th, on the 25th, and the 27th.